Right, here we go. Welcome to another exciting episode of Rodney Hash Live. Today, what we're going to be talking about is SB56. That is the basically anti-consumer rights bill. We're going to be talking about specifically what it is, who's behind it, what it does, like very specifically what it does as far as legally for all of us, and then what we can do to stop it and how we can kill this bill. Because I think it's really important that we do. Yes, this did already pass the House. It already did pass the Senate. It went to a Senate committee. We gave testimony. We, the people, gave testimony on this bill multiple times. They didn't listen to any of it, unfortunately. You guys can look back previously at some of the videos that I've done and see some of my testimony. There's plenty of other advocates. Both times that I went to the State House, we had over 20 people willing to give verbal testimony, let alone all the people that gave written testimony. So that's to say, there's a lot of people that are saying, no, I don't want this bill, and they still went with it anyway. So at this point, we the people have to fight to take the power back, because that's the only way that we can really get any of this done. Let me know if you guys are hearing me a little bit better in the chat. I got a new mic, as you guys can see, and I just need to know, is it working, is it not working, do I gotta fiddle with some things? I see my light isn't on. So, hopefully that's working. There we go. That should definitely be working now. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, technical difficulties as always, but that's why this is a live instead of a pre-recorded edited video. I also want to be able to give you guys some feedback. I want you guys to be able to ask me questions at the end. So at the very end of all of this, for those of you who do tune in live, you'll be able to have a Q&A session with me and really be able to get into the nitty-gritty of what's going on here. Let me make sure this is yeah, we're good. We're good. All right, so we're gonna start off with what is SB56, and then we're gonna start off with who is behind it. In large part, this is a fight that's significantly larger than cannabis, because it's the Ohio GOP or the Republican Party. In large part, there's probably some Democrats in and behind it, and I have my theories. There's a lot of corruption at many levels, both at a lobbying level, at a from top down from the GOP, and I've got some inside sources that are telling me some pretty crazy things that I may divulge a little bit of here throughout this video, so pay attention. OCAN, or the Ohio Cannabis Coalition, not to be confused with the group that many of us that spoke out at the State House started calling ourselves the Ohio Cannabis Consumer Coalition. They are a group of the medical marijuana operators, such as Buckeye Relief, Standard Wellness, Rivera Creek, a lot of the really, really big players in the game. At this point, it's gotten so bad to where a lot of people are boycotting all of those players because this is ridiculous. They had Steve Huffman, one of the GOP members, had multiple OCAN meetings. I have multiple inside sources telling me that Andy Rayburn at an OCAN meeting was telling people that they are going to try and create laws to make anything outside of their personal cannabis that they are legally selling to you, everything else they want to be illegal, and they will fund the prosecution of those. So like hemp shops, for example, they want to fund the prosecution of hemp shops for selling THCA flower, which for those of you who don't know, THCA flower, legally compliant hemp flower that's tested by the state, regulated by the state, tested by the federal, regulated by the federal, more so than the metric industry. Technically, there's different tests, it's different yeast, different mold tests, and all kinds of stuff, and that's a debate for a different day. But to say that it's unregulated and untested is just a complete inaccuracy and a lie. But that's the messaging that they've been pushing, and if you listen, you'll notice even at the when they did vote down SB56 the first time in the Senate, the majority leader for the Republicans said unregulated and untested hemp is a problem. It's a toxin to our people, yada yada. All the words that are OCAN talking points. So they are very much behind this. And who's on the other side of this? We the people, everyone else. Yeah, the hemp industry got into it too, and the hemp industry got screwed over in this whole thing. And you could call it a hemp apocalypse, but because it's not just a war on hemp, it's a war on people like you and me. We only have 17 legal hemp operators left in the state of Ohio. And that's the only avenue for us to actually be able to get in if we're not a multi-generational wealth. I encourage you to look into the owners of people like Buckeye Relief. I encourage you to look into the owners of Rivera Creek, Brian Kessler. They are multi-generational wealth. They have more money than they know what to do with, and it's a cool rich guy thing to buy a weed company. Well, now they've invested all their money into it, and they're not making the profit margins they expected because they don't understand lean operations, Six Sigma, and all this other stuff that, believe me, I worked for some of these guys, and I tried preaching it to them, and they didn't want to hear it. But they think that they know best because they've ran different companies. I don't know, but they don't understand what value is in this industry. So enough with that rant. So it's those guys versus all of us. The hemp industry, we the people, like everyone, the underground industry, the gray market. Grandma who doesn't smoke weed is going to be concerned about SB56. Her grandson is going, and we're going to go into a lot of this stuff. Her grandson's going to go up to Michigan to buy stuff because it's cheaper and then bring it back, or New York. And then he comes back and now it's a felony or a crime to cross state lines with cannabis. Even if you say that it's hemp, which federally is just wild because it's out of compliance. So some of the things specifically that it does. Public consumption. Public consumption becomes criminal. So even if you, let's say, for example, you don't own your home, you rent, your landlord can now put a stipulation in there. Under issue 2, they could make it to where you couldn't smoke in the house. So you couldn't like hit your bong or smoke joints or anything like that. But if you got a vape pen or maybe even a dab rig, that was okay. Because it doesn't leave the residue, it doesn't leave all that stuff. Now we're at the point where if you are out on your front porch and you're smoking a joint, you're not harming anyone or anything, but now you're a criminal. That's pretty wild to me that's what happened here. That's one of the things that's in it. You cannot smoke in a house that a landlord, or vape in a house that a landlord has told you you're not allowed to. If you're at a bar or restaurant and you're on a smoking patio, according to issue 2, what the voters passed, you could smoke there the same way you could smoke that. You could vape, you could, as long as the bar owner was okay with it, you could do that. Now that's a crime. Even if the bar owner tells you, yeah, dude, you can go smoke weed out there, just don't bring it in here. Just keep it set off, like maybe sit a little bit farther away. Whatever rules or stipulations the owner has, because that's his property, that's his business, his establishment, he's allowed to do that. Now, if you are trying to, or let's say you're a head shop owner and you've been holding events for the community and the culture, and you've been allowing people to openly have a dab bar. Like people will gift each other a dab and then they share dabs. All of that becomes illegal on multiple levels. Like, I'm talking, the fact that I shared a dab is illegal. The fact that I shared you product, even if it's for free with no transaction whatsoever, if it's not in your private home residence, that's a crime. If I share a joint with someone in a car that's not moving in the back seat, that's a crime. If I have it in a baggie, let's say even if I did buy it from an Ohio dispensary and I pull it out and I've got it in the back seat, it tucked away somewhere, right? But it's just in the back seat. That's now a crime. If it's sitting in my passenger seat, and again, it's specifically not in an Ohio dispensary packaging container, it's a crime. If I have my homegrown in my car and I'm driving and it's sitting on the ground because I it rolled up there, whatever. A cop has probable cause based on smell, where a lot of other states that have gone recreational have gone back on that and said, no, if it smells like weed, like we can't search you. It's legal now. Just like how, like, there's a plethora of other examples, but like it just is wild. These are all things that are legal. So it creates tons of new crimes. It completely destroys the social equity program that we voted in. So previously, if you guys remember, I think it was like 33 or 36% of the tax revenue was supposed to go to social equity programs. Like 33 was supposed to go to local municipalities. 3% was supposed to go to the actual administration costs of everything. And then I don't remember where the other portion of it was supposed to go, but it wasn't supposed to go to the general revenue fund. Well, they basically made almost all of this go to the general revenue fund. Even the local municipalities, I could be wrong on this one, but I know at one point in one version of the bill, it was only there for 7 years. They don't care about the local municipalities. They don't. That's why, personally, I voted for my mayor, because he spoke out against SB56. So, I mean, and I'm in Northeast Ohio, dude. Like, this is ridiculous. Everyone knows this is a bad bill. We've spoken on it so many times. And I'm going to give you guys a hint here. There's corruption going on. I'm not going to say what specifically because I was asked not to, but I can say that I have some inside sources that there is legitimate corruption going on. From the top down, there are people that are on our side that could not vote a certain type of way or they would get in trouble. So, I mean, it's pretty wild. So out of state transport's illegal. It also caps the number of dispensaries, which is something that I'm really hurt by, because even though I don't really support dispensaries anymore, because none of the operators I can really support, even the local guys like Italian Herbs Dispensary, I've got a story on them about how there was sexual abuse in the workplace. The person reported it, and then once that happened, after they reported it, they got terminated. And then the harassment continued. They still kept getting texts. There's now Jessica Lorello from Italian Herbs is now facing felony charges for Or's mishandling. That's all going to trial. So I'm still waiting to see where that all lands. But that's the local guy. And again, talk about multi-generational wealth. That is, and either her great grandpa or her grandpa helped found stuff with the railroad companies. That's the type of people that are in the industry. It's not people like you and me. It's not the guy who owns 6 vapor house stores that can't get into the industry because the amount of money that it takes to get into it is absolutely astronomical. It doesn't make sense. That don't make no sense. So again, what I meant by hemp apocalypse, so kind of like the federal THC 0.4 milligrams per package thing, it's the same thing that they're trying to do here in Ohio. Now they're trying to claim, hold on a second. I gotta get my cat. Come on, Titus. Smile for the camera. You wanted attention. No, he's camera shy. So anyway, hemp apocalypse, 0.4% THC per container of all varieties. Delta 8, Delta 10, Delta 9, which is the actual real THC. Delta 10, all the other synthetics, all of it is lumped in there. And it literally makes everything illegal. I'm telling you guys right now, most of your local head shops are planning on closing up store at the end of March. They are not buying more products. They are stopping that. I can tell you that a lot of sheriffs for the counties in multiple counties have gone around and told these store owners that if you guys don't get rid of a lot of these products, we're going to raid you. They may try and argue about the wording for raid and say that they're not raiding anyone, but they're raiding people. They're saying, we got a warrant, to do a raid. Again, so we're talking about things that SB56 does. It kills a lot of small businesses. It kills a lot of jobs. There's a lot of people that are just not going to have jobs at the end of March if we do not get something to stop this, which there is hope on the horizon. And I hope I'm not killing everyone's buzz here, because there is hope on the horizon. There are things that we are going to do. There are things in the works, and we've got a lot of support for it. But some of the last couple of things I'll touch on is consumer rights as a whole. They're pretty much gone. There's no more workplace protections. The little that there was, they very much made it clear. They made it to the point to where it's very clear now, if you get fired for a drug test for THC, even in a state where it's legal, you can't even get unemployment. You can get fired for it. You can't come after them. Yeah, it's an at-will employment state. They can fire you for whatever. But if you fail specifically for that and they tell the state that, you don't get unemployment benefits. Gone. All your taxes that you paid, bye. Parents' rights, those are disappearing. Like your significant other could say, hey, that person's a drug addict. He smokes weed. Go ahead, test him. And you can get your kids taken from you still in a state where it's legal to smoke it. You can buy it, you consume it, but only in your own home, only from an Ohio dispensary. Like, and trust me, there's inside stuff within the industry that anyone who's outside of OCAN or goes outside of OCAN's rules, they get hit too. Probable cause. A lot of states that are getting rid of probable cause for adult use, we are creating more grounds for probable cause just based on smell. So why is this important? They want to force you and every single one of us back into the shadows. You can't smoke on a porch you rent. You can't smoke on a patio at a bar or restaurant. You can't vape as a passenger in a moving vehicle. They are drawing a box around every single one of us. And if you step out of line, even just a little bit, they're coming for your wallet and they're trying to take everything. They don't care about how corrupt they have to be to get there, and they're going to try and do it. That's why this referendum is so important. It's time that we, the people, truly take the power back. And the way that we do that is through a voter referendum. So this is the part where I'm going to start telling you guys what it is, how it works, where we're at in these stages. I actually had the idea too, but someone already got to it before me. There's a group, a political action committee called the Ohioans for Cannabis Choice. It's a committee of multiple people. 420 Craft Beverages Wes is on that committee. Real good dude. You've got Joey from Appalachian Girls Farms. You've got a gentleman named Dennis. There's quite a few really important people. There's a guy from Responsible Ohio. They've got one of the best legal teams in the state of Ohio on this. I cannot sing more praises about them. At this point, they've already collected the first 1,000 signatures, sent them over to the state AG. Now, I'll be real with all of you. We all expect the state to give us as much pushback as possible. I full well and they full well expect that first round of signatures is already going to get kicked back. Legally speaking, after they send the first 1,000 signatures in, they have 10 business days, not regular days. So Saturdays and Sundays don't count. Holidays don't count. They have 10 business days to then accept or deny and then kick back that voter referendum, those first 1,000 signatures. They can deny it for a plethora of reasons. Now, when they do kick it back, they have to give a specific reason as to why they denied it. With them doing that, they can then adjust, pivot, and then refile almost immediately. So that way they can then take another 10 days it's going to be really hard for them to deny it a second time, because they're going to go through and fix every single little thing that they say is a problem. After that, we have pretty much about a month, realistically, to collect 250 signatures throughout 44 of 88 counties in the state of Ohio. That's a really big hurdle, but I think we can do it. I believe in us. I believe in all of you that we can do this. they've already got a lot of money behind it because, again, like they're messing with a lot of businesses. Like a lot of small businesses are behind this referendum. They've got a professional collection team, I believe. And then on top of that, we're going to have tons of volunteers. I myself will try and be a volunteer. It's a process to be able to go through this because we already know they're going to try and deny any amount of signatures for any reason that they can. So with that being said, they're being very selective about who's able to do what, but everyone is welcome to help. And we're going to get into how you can help too. So what exactly is a voter referendum? So issue 2, when we passed that was a voter initiative. So that means that it got put into the Ohio Revised Code and that the Senate and the House could then go through and adjust it through bills to change that. Now, through the Ohio Constitution, they are not supposed to change it in a way that would change the will of the voters per se, even though they are. They're legally supposed to only be able to facilitate what we passed. Granted, I'm sure there's bound to be lawsuits, but we the people don't really do that. That's something like the ACLU and others hopefully will be normal. These very, very large organizations hopefully will be able to do because this will create case law. And that's really big in Ohio's legal system. The case law will create basically standing ground for everything else. So we're going to have to win that. This is a big fight. And this is something significantly bigger than just cannabis. This is, again, like we the people have to take back the power. So what is a referendum? It is not a lawsuit. What a voter's referendum is so now we did the voter initiative. We passed something at the ballot. They went through, they changed it. So our option, if we don't like how they changed it, we can do a voter referendum and choose the certain amount of text that they passed at the state house, and we will be able to vote on if that should stay or go away. And I'm going to get into what specifically is all in this referendum, what all specific text gets cut out, because as you guys can tell from the rest of what's in it, it's a lot of really, really, really bad. So personally, I wanted to get rid of all of it. I was convinced of otherwise. And I know that's going to sound wild, but there's one tiny little thing in there that's good. One small little insignificant little thing. Issue 2 had a problem where for the municipalities and the cities, there wasn't an actual mechanism to distribute the funds. So in SB56, that is one thing that they did do. Now, of course, they messed with it in a way where they also made it to where most of those funds also go to the general revenue fund, which then goes to billionaires' pockets, tax cuts for those guys, things like building the Brown Stadium in Brook Park, not in Cleveland, in Brook Park. Don't even get me started on that. It's a whole nother story. But it's essentially putting a pause button on it. The voter referendum makes it to where at the 90-day mark, instead of it going into law like it normally would, that's why we have that 90-day grace period, is because we have that voter referendum ability to then go in there, put a pause on it, and say, hold up, there's enough of us Ohioans that have spoken out and said, we don't agree with what you guys did here. We don't want to recriminalize it. We want to decriminalize it. We already passed decrim laws years ago. Then we passed medical, and now at the ballot, we passed recreational. So we don't want to recriminalize it. No, we want to normalize it. So for that reason, we're doing the referendum. It's going to pause it, and then it's going to put it on the next ballot. So we will then be able to vote on it. So be ready to sign that for sure. The specific... Yeah, the voter referendum, though, it gets rid of all of the rest of it. The only thing that's left is that mechanism of action to actually distribute the funds. To my knowledge, it even strips out the part where it sends all the money to the revenue fund. There will have to be some type of language that they create later to be able to set up a social equity program. Sorry, I know you guys don't like it, and people are gonna get racist in the comments and everything else, but in all reality, I'm sorry guys, but it's not. Social equity isn't just black and white. It's very gray for one, and to be honest, it's most of Ohio. Most of Ohio needs social equity. Kids need free breakfast throughout this state. I don't care where you're at. Kids need to come first. That's a social equity type of thing. May not like it, but it is what it is. It's statistically proven that kids that are fed earlier develop better brain function. They perform better, and that all starts with eating a good diet in the beginning of the morning. What can you do? Well, first things first is register to vote. If you're not already registered to vote, you can't sign this petition to get rid of SB56 or this referendum to get rid of SB56 if you're not a registered voter in the state of Ohio. So that's number one. Number two, share this. Talk about it to your neighbor. Talk about it with everyone. Talk about it to your grandma. Let your grandma know that if her grandson goes up to Michigan and comes back because it's 10 times cheaper to go buy it up there than it is to buy it here, and believe me, that's only going to get worse as the whole hemp industry closes up. I'm sure they're going to make the prices skyrocket the same way they did when rec first passed. Trust me, there was some shisty stuff going on behind the scenes then too. People buying up each other's products and stuff so that way it couldn't hit the floor or store shelves. So that way they could have what seemed like a were selling out, but in all reality, there was a significant surplus. Other states that just passed stuff actually did sell out of products. We never had that issue. Why? Because they had such a large amount of surplus that no one was buying over years. And they didn't think to grow less or grow better. No, they bought rad source machines. The next thing you can do is keep on the lookout. We will be collecting signatures. Follow your favorite cannabis social media influencer. They will be posting it out. I know a lot of those guys, and I'm talking to as many of them as I can. If you know one, send them over to me. We'll get them connected into the whole loop. Like, we need as many people on this as we can. Everyone needs to know about what's going on with how the state is screwing the people. And we need to take the power back. It's our time. It's now or never. Again, this is bigger than just cannabis. They are using so many messed up tactics to try and impose their will on us. But they are only in office because of us. They think that because they have so much money and they can manipulate us masses by just putting a bunch of posters out there and name recognition and being at the top of the ballot, that they're going to get the votes and they're going to win. Well, not if we educate the public and we all talk. Because believe me, we're in an age where it's time to talk. All right, guys, I think this is the part where I'm going to open it up to questions. My girlfriend's over there. Is there anyone even in the chat right this second?
There's one.
Does anyone have any questions? Has there been any questions that have popped up in the chat?
No, he sent a 100 emoji.
Who is it? Let me ask. Give a shout out to the one person who actually talks in the chat. Here, I'll look. Hi, chat. Alex Pagan. Shouts out to you, Alex, bro. I know who that is. Oh, man. Huntington Ridge Farms Organics. Huntington Ridge Organics, I believe his name is. He is awesome. All right, guys. If no one has any questions at the moment, I am going to get out of here. Don't be scared to ask questions in the comment section later. If you enjoyed the new sound quality, let me know in the comments as well, because this was a very expensive purchase, and hopefully it's worth it for you guys, because I really want to just make something that's worth it for you guys. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Rodney Hash out. Peace.
I don't know how to stop it.
Wow. there's this thing that says stop streaming.